Hi there, hope you have a fantastic day today. This lesson I'm going to teach you Pascal triangle. Of course, there is a PDF file on the description below for you to download if you like. Otherwise, let's go straight into it. So with Pascal triangle, always start with 1 and then end with 1. And then of course, it's form a triangle. So first one, the first row is start with 1. And then we move on to second row. So we start with 1 and then we end with 1. And the third row, of course, we start with 1. And then to find the next number, so we add these two numbers together. So that would be 2. Just write this down. So this is 2. And then we end with 1. And the next row is we start with 1. And then to get the next number, so these two numbers add together to give me 3. So I write 3 down. And the next number is we add these two together. So 1 plus 2 is 3. So this is 3. And then end with 1. To find the next row, again, we start with 1. And these two add together to give me 4. So just write this down. 4. And these two add together to give me 6. So write this down. 6. And this one together add them to give me 4. So just write this down. And then we end with 1. Okay, don't forget. And then the next one is we start with 1. And we add these two together is 5. And these two add together is 10. So write 10 down. And these two add together is 10. And 4 plus 1 is 5. And then end with 1. And to find next row, again, same process, okay? So we start with 1. We add 1 plus 5 is 6. 5 plus 10 is 15. 10 plus 10 is 20. And then go 10 plus 5 is 15. And 5 plus 1 is 6. And we end with 1. So the pattern, it just keep going like that, okay? To find the next row. So let's go through a few examples to see how we use this Pascal triangle. So first one. Now to expand this, so we know that the Pascal triangle is 1. And then we start with 1 and with 1. And start with 1 and 1 plus 1 is 2. And we end with 1. Now because this is power of 2, so we use the third row, this row here, okay? So this is, you can see 2 there. And then we just apply. So to start with, first step is what we do. We go A, because this is a power of 2, so maximum power is 2. So we start with A, power of 2. And then we write B, power of 0. So remember, these two index always add up to give me this number here. In this case, is 2, okay? Now, the next one is we just add A, power of 1, because it's the A is reduced and the B increase the index, okay? Or power if you like. So B power 1 and A power 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2, okay? Remember, so always add up the indices to give me 2, okay? This is power 2. And the next one is A power 0, reduce to A power 0, and B increase, so this is 2. So there you go. So A square B power 0 plus A 1 B power 1 and A power 0 and B square. So the next step is we're going to use the triangle to complete the questions. So these are the coefficients of the term. So for example, the first one is 1 is for this term here. And 2 is for this. And then this 1 is the coefficient of this. There you go. So this is how we use Pascal triangle to expand these brackets, okay? So now we just simplify this. So that will give me, now B power 0, anything power 0 is 1. And 1 times A square is A square. And this is plus 2AB and plus, now A power 0 is 1. And remember, any number that power 0 is 1, okay? So 1 times B square is B square. There you go. First one. Second one. Now, because it's power 3, so what I do, I just write one more row. Okay. So we start with 1, of course. And then 2 plus 1 is 3. And these add together give me 3. And then we end with 1. So remember, these numbers are the coefficients of each term, okay? So let me expand this first. So that start with A, power of 3, always, and B, power of 0. But because we have a negative, so just write this down, the whole lot power of 0. And we add the power of this is reduced, so which is A squared. And then this power increase, okay? So increase by 1, so which is negative B, power of 1. And remember, okay, this number must add up, give me power of 3. Just remember that for me. Then we add, so A squared now reduced to 1, and B power of 1 you increase to 2, so they add up, the index add up to 3, okay? Then we add A power of 0, and then negative B power of 3. So this is the first step, and second step is we just write down all the coefficients. So the coefficients for the first one is 1, 3, it's here, and this 3 is write this down here, and this is 1. Now we just simplify. So to do this, so we know that anything power of 0 is 1. So this give me 1 here, and then A power of 3 times 1 is A power of 3. So A power of 3. Now this one here, negative B power of 1 is negative B, okay? So then we just times negative 3. So they give me negative 3A squared B. And this one here, negative B's power of 2 is B squared. Just remember that, become positive. So then we add, so 3AB squared. Then negative B power of 3 is negative B power of 3. And then A power of 0 is 1. So therefore, this should give me minus B power of 3. There you go. Last example. So now this time power of 4. So let me just quickly write the Pascal triangle first. So we have 1, start with 1 and end with 1. 1 we add together, give me 2, 1. 1, 3, 3, 1, 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. So now because of power 4, so I use this fifth row. So this give me, so this row here. So that is, we just write the, we just expand it first without coefficient. So let me just write underneath here. So because it's 2x, so we better write brackets. So 2x to power 4 and negative y power of 0. And then we add 2x power of 3, negative y power of 1. So which is negative y. And we add, so 2x power of 2 and negative y power of 2. Remember the index, the power always add up, give me 4, okay? Because the bracket's power 4. So therefore, always add the index must give me this 4 here, okay? Keep that in mind. And the next one is add, so 2x to power 1 and then negative y power 3. And plus 2x power 0 and then negative y to the power 4. Now we just write down all the coefficients, okay? So this one here, 1, 4, 6, 4, 1, okay? So this is 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. There you go. So now we just simplify them. So to simplify this, so that will give me, so anything power 0 is 1. So this is give me 1. So that 2 power 4, you can use calculator. Otherwise, 2 power 4 is 16. So 16 times 1 is 16. So 16, x to the power 4. And now, with this term here, I just write this down so you can see what I'm doing. So 4, 2x to the power 3, negative y. So that will give me, now 2 power 3 is 8, times 4 is 32. Okay, you can always use calculator. And power 3, negative y, so just like y here and negative. So just write this down. So minus 32x to the power 3 y. And with this term here, so we just simplify this. Negative y squared is y squared anyway. So we just go 6 times 2 power 2 is 4, x squared y squared. So therefore 6 times 4 is 24. So we write this down. Add 24 x squared y squared. Then the next term is this. So we have 4 2x negative y power 3. So negative y power 3 is negative y to the power 3. So which is just write negative first. And 2 times 4 is 8 x and then y to the power 3. So I just write this down. Plus, so negative, which is minus 8xy to the power 3. And the last one, this will give me 1, and negative y power 4 is positive. So that will give me plus y to the power 4. This is it. Now, please pause the video and try this one yourself. Hi, I'm back. How did you go? Now, before I go through them with you, please do not forget to give me a thumb up and subscribe if you haven't done so you can help me to grow my channel. So let's go straight into this. So first one, so let me just quickly write down the Pascal triangle first. So 1, 1, 1, we add together, give me 2, this is 1. And power 3, I need one more row, okay? So 1, 3, 3, 1. So these are the coefficients. So let me just expand this first. So that is equal to x power 3 and then negative 3y power 0 plus x squared because it's reduced, and this term increase the index, okay, the power. And then we add x to the power 1 and then negative 3y to the power 2. And don't forget, this one add up must give me 3, okay? The index must add up to give me this. Keep that in mind. So now we add x to the power 0, and then negative 3y power 3. There you go. So now we just write down the coefficient. So the coefficients are 1, 3, 3, 1. So just write 1, 3, 3, 1. Then we just simplify them. So that will give me, so anything for this term here, anything power 0 is 1. So that left with x to the power 3. And now we know that 3 times negative 3 to give me negative 9. So just write this down, minus 9 x squared y. And negative 3y all squared, so should give me a positive. So 3 squared is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. Otherwise, just put that on your calculator, okay? You just put 3 times negative 3 squared. It should give you 27. So just write this down, plus 27xy squared. And then we know that negative 3y to the power 3. And because it's negative power odd, so it should be a negative number. And 3 power 3, 27. And then y power 3. Otherwise, you can just put in a calculator. You go negative 3 all power 3. Okay, you should give you negative 27. And then we times 1. So this is negative 27y to the power 3. There you go. Next one. So this is power 5. So let me just quickly write it down. 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 3, 3, 1, 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. Because it's power 5, I need one more. 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, 1. So now we just do the same process. So that will give me x to the power 5 and times the next term, which is power 0. So it's 1 anyway. So I just skip that. And then we add, so x to the power 4 and write negative x. And then power 1. And this one here, we just add. So we're reducing this. So x to the power 3. And this is increasing. Okay, just remember that for me. And then we're going to add x power 2. And then negative 1 over x power 3. Then we add x and negative 1x power 4. And then the last one is we just add negative 1x to the power 5. Okay, so that's it, because x power 0, so it's 1 anyway, so I just leave it. Now we just need to write down all the coefficients. So 1, 5, 10, and then 10, 5, 1. There you go. So now I just simplified them, okay? So this will give me, the first term is x to the power 5. So with this term here, so let me just explain it to you. So we have 5x to the power 4 times by negative 1 over x. So that cancel this out. So that give me x to the power 3, okay? But and it's negative. So that will give me minus 5x to the power 3. And this term here, so we have 10x to the power 3 negative 1 over x power 2. So that should be positive because a negative power of even, okay? So it should be positive. So can this divided by that, because this is just like this, okay? Let me explain it to you. So times by 1 over x squared. So this cancel with this, give me x. So the answer is plus 10x. And with this term here, same rule apply. So what we do, we just know that it's negative because negative power odd. And we know that 10x squared times by 1 over x to the power 3. Okay? So that cancel out, that give me x. So that can become 10 over x. And next term, this one here, and because it's negative 1 over x power 4, so it should be positive. So therefore, we can just simplify like this, 5x times 1 over x to the power 4. So that cancel, so that becomes x to the power 3. So let me just write this down. So that will give me positive 5x to the power 3. And the last term, and we know that the negative power odd, so it should be negative. So over x to the power 5. There you go. Now, last one. So let me just quickly write down the Pascal triangle first. So 1, 2, 1, 1, 3, 3, 1, because power 4, we need one more row. 4, 6, 4, 1. So now just quickly write this down, okay? So which is square root of 2 x to the power 4 and times negative x power 0. So it's 1 anyway. So I can just ignore that one. And then we plus square root of 2 and power 3 negative 1. Okay, so that increase the index for negative 1, and square root of 2 will reduce the index. Okay, so then we add square root of 2 square and then negative 1 square. And then we add square root of 2 power 1 and then negative 1 power 3. And then we add negative 1 power 4. There you go. Now we just need to write down the coefficient. And the coefficients are 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. So 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. Now we just simplified. So we will have, so 2 root 2 power 4. So root 2 power 4, the first term is exactly the same as root 2 square times root 2 square. But then root 2 square is 2. And then 2 times 2 is 4. So let's write this down. Now, with this term, so we know that the answer is negative. So we'll just write this negative down, because negative 1 times 4. Okay. So this is 4 root 2 power 3. Okay. So this one is the same as 4 times root 2 square times root 2, because it's power 3. Okay. Just like a power 3 is a squared times a. Okay. Which is use the same theory. So root 2 square is 2. 2 times 4 is 8. So 8 root 2. Okay. So let me just write this down. So 8 square root 2. And the next term is this. So which is square root 2 square is 2. 2 times 6 is 12. And because negative 1 power 2, so that should be positive. So we plus 12. So the pattern is go like this. So we start with positive and negative, positive, negative, positive, negative. Okay, if you like. So the next one is this term here. So we have a negative because negative 1 power 3 is negative. Otherwise, you know that the next term positive and then followed by negative, followed by positive. Okay. And then we have 1 power 3 is 1. So the answer should be 4 times root 2 is 4 root 2. And the last term is negative 1 power 4 is positive anyway. So plus 1 times 1 is 1. There you go. Now we just simplify a bit further. So that will give me, so we collect like terms. So 4, 12, 1. So 4 plus 12 plus 1 is 17. We'll just write this down. And we have this term here. So negative 8 minus 4. So that will give me negative 12. So just write this down. Minus 12 square root of 2. There you go. I hope you got all of them correct. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.